Good morning, team. And these tripping hazards. Can you let me know if you can hear me over the music? We'll start in a typical fashion, rolling out. Oh, thank you. Rolling out our feet. I'm starting with my right foot. And again, in that same fashion, the intent is to even up. Okay. And break up any of that binding and that fascia. And then outside rim of the foot, inside rim. Same concept. If there's a spot that you need to spend more time on, go ahead and take the time and then dig into the heel. Yes. Agreed. And I don't do it without you. And the arch, which is silly, but and then the ball of the foot. I just always tell myself the workouts and the cute shoes are worth it, but I don't know if that's actually true. And then full foot. And then step your right foot on the floor. That should connect a little bit more easily into the ground. And then we take that left foot and start to roll it. I did. All 7 days. And I got the email of the assignment at like 10:42 last night. My email came through. So I feel like I could have gotten away with, let me see, where did I put it? I'll show you. I have all of my days. There was a graph I had to recreate too. All of my days of assignments. I mean, I guess that's boring. When dig into the arch of the foot, I feel like you're right. I don't have a problem with words. I guess I just don't love homework, but I give it to you all the time. This kind of homework feels more fun. And ball of the foot. If you missed some things with my show and tell, go ahead and go after that now. And then full foot. I'm sure I'll probably be the only one. This is what happens. This is what happens when something like this comes up. I'm the only one who worries about it and thinks it all has to be complete exactly as it was said. So I probably next week will know that I don't have to be quite so thorough. Go ahead and step off with that right foot and left foot connected together to the floor, and then roll ball of the foot heels, ball of the foot heels. Now in that, we're gonna do that foot prep that we've been doing in class. Yeah, and every time I'm like, Stacey, but it is the worst feeling to me to feel like unprepared. And then outside, inside. As we come into that rolling, it should roll a little bit more easily post stretch, post rollout. And then take that right foot, dig into the landing pad. So you're pressing down into the ball of the foot. And then come up onto the ball of the foot and roll big toe to pinky toe. It's going to be a little bit more effective on a hard surface. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And then set your right foot down. Take your left foot, push into the landing pad on the left. You're using that intentionally for pressure points. So push into that, not just coming up and down, but dig in And then ball of the foot, big toe to pinky toe. Four more. Now, carrying on from yesterday, we're going to take it down into a seated position and then roll out your right quad. So in that roll out, starting with our toes straight ahead. So after yesterday, look how long that makes my leg look. See, that's all about camera angles. But that reminds me of the movie Elf, where they did so much amazing work just with camera angles. But we haven't done this in this way where we have the toe forward, the toe out, and then the toe in. It goes after a different part of that quadricep. And then right above the knee and right under the hip are going to be the hot spots that get bound up. Oh, it's painful. Turn the toes out. Give some attention if there's a spot that feels a little fussy. Give it some extra attention. And then turn the toes in, IT band. Yes, that lunge set, right? I was thinking that too, Heidi. It means our hamstring stretches are gonna feel great today. Good morning, Chie. And then go ahead and center your foot, roll forward and back a few times. And then switch. Left leg. As you go over the left leg, start with the toes forward. If you know that you have a spot in a different foot position that needs more attention, go into that now. Use this time wisely. This has been neglected. I was trying to think of that's good. And there's something else I watched the other day that I was like, oh great, now it's triggering. I think I had read an article on celebrity, and then now I'm getting like all these celebrity things, which I'm not really into. So I'm like, oh, that's what happens. Gotta watch what you click on. I don't mind the fascia. Turn the toes out. Take some breath away. The very convicting piece with all that fascia work is how dehydrated it can get. So that means I really got to start the water again. And toes in. Yeah, a lot of them. You can leave that on, honey. If you need to see, you can leave that on. The cadaver stuff Like that's most of the ones that are educational. I mean that you gotta, that's, the ones I sent were pretty gentle. And then come back to the center. But I think we were talking about this, was it last Sunday? I can't remember now, but remember how I was talking about when I took anatomy, and that's been a long time ago now. But really that was just waste. Like you just got rid of that, opened up. I mean, this is a lot, so I'm not going to say much about it, but you opened it up and discarded that and then got to the muscle and the joints, and then go ahead and take that bar out of play. I would love to do the calves as well today, but we don't have time. So if you have some time right after this is done, then that calf rollout, that needs it too. We'll do that maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. But then they discovered like that how important fascia was, and started not just discarding it and also researching and studying that. And I thought, gosh, for how long have we just tossed this aside? And how many times do we do that with things other than fascia, thinking they're not important? Feel your back gap from the tailbone to the next point of contact, the length and the height. And you're gonna bend the knees, lift your hips, set the hips back down on the ball, open up the legs. And then knowing that with that visual of fascia, think about if you have one leg hyped up, or how your body lands, that whole gravity we talked about, that melt, that class melt, or any of the Elaine Patron method, which is also the miracle ball, but it's just the art of letting gravity do its thing, letting the body go. So we use this lift to give some space and some room for the body to reset itself. So when you think about how your legs are open and free, if one is still trying to grip, give it permission to let go, breathe through that inhale big through your nose, and then even longer out your mouth, audible if you can. Heel toe your feet out, and then let the knees drop in. And then same thing, we make an inventory of where our body is bound up so that we can see, and just like in a lot of those where it showed, like a pull in the rib cage or pull in the hip or in the knee can affect, or it does affect all the other biomechanics. And so paying attention to, do I have mobility evenly in both legs or in both obliques or whatever it is we're focusing on, to make mental note of it and get to know our bodies a little better, see where they need some help. Now heel toe your feet to neutral. Let your knees come in. Wiggle your toes. Spread your toes. Let your knees hang out. Close your legs. Straighten your legs. Flex your feet. And open. Inhale. Exhale, close the legs, bend the knees, let the knees hang open. This is a good opportunity to do some of that footwork that we have been doing. So you can give your feet some attention here. And close the legs, straighten the legs, flex the feet and open. Same thing with all of that when we did the different, I don't know if we did the tapping together. I don't think we did, but even right now, if you wanted to go to the base of your head, give a little pressure right underneath that bone, and just press and rub, press and rub. Close your legs, bend the knees, and open while you're in this position, taking advantage of the time. Inhale. As you exhale, close your legs for the last time. Open, or Straighten them, flex and point, flex and point. And then circle it. And reverse. And then hold the feet flexed. There we go, Heidi. And hamstring pull. And then open the legs, press your legs out. And then pull. Now close your legs, bend your knees. Set one foot at a time down. Lift your hips off the ball, remove the ball, lay your back down. As you straighten the legs, now your back should melt into the floor. Feel the difference of the before and after. Again, just so that you can see, the bigger, the more drastic that is, then the tighter our back is. It needs a little bit more love. And then place it under your sternum, open your heart. Move the ball so that you get that stretch where you want it along the front. Hug your arms in and squeeze tight. We'll just do one each today. Arms over, big circle, articulate around, and then left arm on top. Unwrap. And circle. Arms come down to the side. And then slowly roll yourself up. As you roll up, tuck the left foot in. The left foot comes in towards the hip. The right leg comes out to the side. Move around a little bit in that. So as you come into that, finding any kinks. So if you remember when we've done that squat where you squat, slide a single leg and you slide the other leg across the clock, where you're hitting all 6 points on the clock on this half, and then you do the opposite, all for rehab and strength. Think of the same thing. When you lean side to side, find an angle where your body needs to live and sit for a second, and then hold and breathe there. It's going to be different for each of us. And then meet in that side flexion. And then send the left hand to the floor. You can keep this right knee bent or straight, and then lift, open up. Bring this right hand back behind you. You can follow it with your gaze. Big deep breath. As you exhale, come back down. Take that right leg back out to the side. This time rotate and twist. Inhale. Exhale. Come up nice and tall. Take that right foot, bring it all the way across. Now, just for 10 constraints, you get to pick. You can have this leg in front with your left arm pressing and rotating. You can hold that with your left arm, cradle it. You can pick up that right foot, cradle it in the elbow fold, and move a little bit right to left, rock it. If we're holding it, there's not a wrong place. So you can take that and move in a little bit different fashion if that flexibility gets in the way of holding it in the elbow. And then extend that right leg as much as you can. Inhale. As you exhale, take that right leg out to the side, turn it to the left. You can choose to stay here. You can reach back, grab that right foot. You can crawl down. Now, if you come down, again, we've talked about the space in between the eyebrows. You could either put some pressure with your fingers into that, massage it out a little bit. You could push it into the floor and move right to left, front to back. Find the position that feels good. Give it some attention, release. Inhale. Exhale, come up back into your hands. Dig your right toes into the floor. Pop the left foot up. Set your right knee back down. Turn your left toes out. And then reach that left arm back behind you. You can wrap it. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Straighten your left toes. Dig your right toes into the floor. Come up into that crescent lunge. Take your left hand, gentle pull on the right wrist. Inhale. Exhale, open. Turn to the left. And then take this left hand, spin it, open, and then turn your right toes out and come into that warrior two. And that same fashion where we're pushing and preserving. So we want to intentionally go into our day thinking of the things that we're going to push away that don't serve us, to make the space to invite in the things that do. So with that intentionality, pressing with the heels of the hands, strong front to back, draw into this left knee, and then bring your left hand down, right hand up. Straighten your left leg. Option to take that hand back behind. Hand comes back up, soften your left knee. Lift up into warrior two, press and preserve, and then peaceful warrior. Inhale. Exhale. Take your hands back to warrior two. Turn your left foot to the front, so now both feet are forward, and then bring your hands down. Now I can tent my fingertips. I could have my elbows, my forehead. Big breath. As you exhale, push into your hands, heel toe your feet in, and come into that hip opener. So as you come down into that, we've talked about it, you can take your hands back behind. You could have your hands on your quads or your elbows on your quads, or you could come down into that seated position with your feet together, butterfly the knees out. Take some deep breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, find your way to seated. Take the left foot, tuck it in. Right leg is out. One more time. See what that range of motion is after. So let's see if we have just a little bit more mobility than we did on the front end. And then rotate. Sit up nice and tall. And then switch. Take that right leg in, left leg comes out. As we come into that, again, moving around, finding that position just like we did on the other side that needs a little love. And then take that right arm, reach it over. Inhale. As you exhale, come on up. Option to straighten or bend to the left. Reach that left arm up and then back. Follow it with your gaze. So when you come into that hip forward is going to stretch the quadricep, the hip flexor into the obliques. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, sit it down, straighten that left leg back out, and then rotate over. So when we come into this twist, try and take your head and let it go. Let it fall forward towards that leg. One more big breath. As you exhale, come up nice and tall. Take that left foot, bring it across, make your choice. So that could be here. That could be here. Or a little more intense, you can cradle the leg. Move around in that. Inhale. As you exhale, extend that left leg. Mercy. Now, as we wrap up our stretching on the other side, if there's a stretch, reach back so you can come into pigeon. If there's a stretch that you want to linger in a little bit longer, knowing how the set plays out, feel the freedom to listen to that, adjust. Even if we're not perfectly even in how long or in what stretch we do one side to the other, if your body is telling you something, that trumps that desire to be perfectly set and even from one exercise to the next. Big breath. As you exhale, push into your hands, dig into your left foot, lift the left knee up onto the right, set the left knee back down. Turn your right toes out, move around a little bit, and then reach back behind you with your right hand. Option to sweep it across. And bring it back to the front. Turn your right toes forward, dig your left toes in, hover your left knee, and come up into crescent. Draw that hip forward. So it's going to want to tilt back. Retuck that under. Reach your fingertips, spread your fingers so you feel the webbing in between your fingers. And then take the right hand, gentle pull on the left wrist. Mindful of your breath, like we've talked about with each inhale, taking in the things, the good things, and then exhaling out what we don't need. Open the arms, rotate to the right. Now take this right hand, sweep it back up. Open it, and then come into warrior two. Turn your left toes forward, so you have them in opposition. Be mindful with this intentionality. Take that right hand to the floor, left hand up. So good. So good listening to that. And then straighten that right leg. Option to take that hand back behind you. Soften that right knee, reach the left arm up. And then come back up into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. It's just like anything else. The more we learn to listen to the messages the body's sending us, then the easier it is to hear it. So it's a practice. It's easy to ignore all those things. And then come back into warrior two. Now, heel toe your right foot. So now both are forward and coming down into the floor. Tip those hips up. Keep your right hand down. Left arm comes up and back. And switch. Both hands down, heel toe your feet in. Drop into that hip opener. And then we'll finish with our spinal rotation team. So as we come onto our back, it's our last stretch together. If there's something else you want to do, if you want to hang out in Shavasana, if you want to mute this and meditate, whatever it is that's valuable for you in this space, go ahead and take it to your glutes, seated position, and then turn so that you can lay on your back. Now you know the multiple options, the tabletop, the figure four, or one leg on the floor. Pick the one that's best for you. I'm going to do the one where my right leg is straight. Pull the left knee to the heart. And then bring that left knee across the right side of the body. Gentle pressure. Reach your left hand, spread the fingers. Breathe through that. Audible exhale out your mouth. Goal post that left arm and then look over it. Soften your eyes. Soften your gaze. Inhale. As you exhale, come back onto your back. Switch the leg. And then same thing. That can be that figure four. That can be the knees together in tabletop. Otherwise, if you're with me, that right knee comes in towards your heart. Bring it over to the left. Take that left hand, gentle pressure. Right hand to the ceiling. Goal post that right arm. And look over that right shoulder. Big deep breath. Audible exhale. And then go ahead and bring your knees together. As you bring your knees together, rock front to back, side to side, intentionally massaging the fascia around the sacrum. Reset that. And then roll yourself up. As you roll up, take your hands, hook your feet, and then your two-part stretch. Push your toes down, and you're going to feel your scapula separate. You can tread, and when we tread, that will help us to loosen up the tension around the shoulder blades. And then reverse that, pull with your hands. So you were pressing with your toes. Now pull with your hands and feel that stretch go deeper into the back. And sit up tall, bring the legs behind you. Dig the toes into the floor. Lift your hips, press back towards your heels. Walk your hands in. Let your head hang heavy. Shake it no. Nod it yes. Reset the fluid in your brain, whatever stress you can let go of, whether that's physical, mental, emotional. Leave it. And then slowly roll up one bone at a time. Contract your glutes. Pull the navel to spine, ribs are in and down, shoulders set right over that strong foundation. Even weight from the right foot to the left foot, face front. Take a big deep breath in, arms up. Spread your fingers. Exhale. So grateful for this time together this morning. Thank you, friends. Have a great Sunday morning. Hopefully you can do something good for yourself. And then as we launch in, just like always, Sunday can bring anxieties when we're thinking about starting back into our work week. And hopefully we can ride this wave of whenever there's something that might give just a little bit of stress or anxiousness, take a deep breath, preferably in through your nose, and then slow exhale out your mouth and see if you can reset that and then begin again, because you still have this whole day to soak in some downtime. I mean, I know that's not always true with children and pets and other things, but oh, thanks, ladies. I appreciate you, friends. showing up on a Sunday. That's no joke. I know how valuable this time is. So I really do appreciate that you share it. It's an honor to get to stretch and have a moment of when all through the week we work hard, and then to take a second to kind of recheck in with our body so that we can reset going into the next week in a place that hopefully feels a little more nurtured. Thanks, Lisa. I love you, friends, and I look forward to Pilates tomorrow. If you have any requests, let me know. Otherwise, I will start to create. Have a great day. Love you.